If I wanted to get rich in 2026, I'd go all in on AI, but not the way that most people think. I'd install AI inside of a very specific type of business, one where revenue is leaking because humans can't move fast enough. That is how I built School of Bots, my company, into a $10 million company and helped our clients generate over $97 million with Instagram DMs. In this video, I'm breaking down the 4 rules that you can use to spot these $1 million AI opportunities and turn them into high leverage businesses or additional revenue streams that don't depend on you working more hours, even if you're starting from zero or not technical. Rule number 1 took me from broke to building a $10 million business. First, let me tell you about this $50,000 mistake that I almost made. A few years back, an e-commerce brand reached out to us. They were excited, ambitious, selling these inflatable beanbag products, and they had heard about our DM automation success, and they wanted to pay us our $50K engagement fee at the time to build them an automated sales system. I almost said yes. The enthusiasm was there, like everything seemed to be clicking and in alignment, but then I asked them the question of how many sales are you making right now through your organic content. Turns out that they had no consistent sales, no consistent process, no consistent traffic, and they were hoping that by hiring automation experts, they would create demand. But instead, what would have happened if I had taken on that deal is we would have built a beautiful automated system that talked to nobody. Or worse, we would have automated a sales process that wasn't actually proven, and they would have blamed the automation when the real problem was that they hadn't found their product market fit yet, and they hadn't proven their product yet. The reason why this matters is MIT found that 95% of AI pilots failed to deliver measurable business impact in 2025. This is exactly why. People think AI is going to magically create success. It will not. It's not going to create demand oftentimes. It amplifies what's already working really well. And so I realized something that day, that I wanted to be in the scaling business, not the startup business. And I decided that we would only work with businesses where demand already exceeds supply. Their problem is not we need more leads. The problem is we can't keep up with the leads that we have. And that's certainly not the only way to build a business and decide who to work with, but it was the decision that aligned the most for me at the time. And it is the same decision that you want to make when it comes to looking at a process and saying, should I hand this over to AI? That process needs to work 100 times over first. And a good rule of thumb is that if you can't point to consistent results or revenue coming from a process in the last 30 days, you're probably not ready to automate it. So let me show you an example of what the opposite looks like. This is a client who was ready to automate their processes. Now, this client named Jamie C hired us, and in the first month, we took her current conversion vehicle, which was a webinar and then sales calls, and we made it a lot more efficient. We removed friction from the process, which I'm going to give you a lot of examples of in just a little bit, and we were able to create $300,000 of new revenue in the first 30 days simply by doing these things. Now, here's why this matters. If you try to use AI to invent demand where it doesn't exist yet, you're going to waste a lot of time building systems that generate $0. But if you install AI where demand already exists, where money is already moving, you can just remove friction and immediately create results, right? It's like uncovering free money for our clients is what we like to say. And I think the same goes for any effective AI solution. So before you build anything for anyone, yourself, customers, etc., you want to ask yourself the question, is money already flowing in this process? If they don't have customers coming from this thing, revenue, results, maybe it's not about marketing and sales, but it's about operational efficiency. If there is no proof that a process is already working, then you do not want to focus on that process and automate it with AI. You want to look for something else. And I'll give you a framework for how to do that. Rule number 2 is what I call where money waits. A brand came to me making $500,000 a month. The content team was super frustrated because they were growing this Instagram account by 50,000 new followers per month, and they were driving thousands of new leads per week to the sales team. But whenever there was a big influx in leads, there was actually a decline in the number of sales calls that were getting booked. And this is a really common situation that I see where a team gets overwhelmed with lead volume, and therefore their speed to lead drops. And so they end up talking to a lot of tire kickers instead of only focusing focusing on high intent and qualified leads. But in order to do that, you need to use automated qualification tools and get those conversations in front of the sales team ASAP. So this is what I call the where money waits problem. Every business has moments where a lead is sitting there, their hand is raised, they're ready to buy, and they're just waiting for somebody to respond. Maybe they're waiting for an answer to a question, a quote, a calendar link, and while they wait, they're cooling off. And so it's like spending $5,000 on ads to drive people to your store and then locking the door when they show up. Now back to this brand, their time from talking to a lead to booking a call was 72 hours. After we implemented automation, it went down from 72 hours to 2 hours. And this alone was costing them $500,000 plus in lost revenue per month. And their goal was to get to $1 million a month in revenue. They already had the lead volume to get there. They just needed to fix what was happening between a lead coming in and becoming a customer, AKA middle of the funnel. Now, most business owners think that the hardest part is getting the attention. So they only obsess over the ad copy, the Instagram content, SEO, AEO, that's answer engine optimization, building their email list. But the thing that actually kills your sales is the delayed response time. If somebody fills out your application form at 9 p.m. and then you respond at 1 p.m. the next day, by that time, they've already talked to 3 of your competitors and potentially bought from one of them. The same thing goes if you have a product that people can buy on their own and there's no salesperson. If your page does not handle every objection that they had and they don't feel like they got the information that they needed fast enough, then they've already probably moved on to your competitors and checked out and bought something else. I've done that many times myself. And while I don't advocate for, your own consumer behavior being the way that you make decisions on how everybody else probably behaves, that is something that we are seeing more and more data behind because people have Google and AI at their fingertips, and that allows them to be able to go and get information quickly from other brands who have put that information out there for them to make that decision faster. Long story short, the easier you make it for somebody to impulse buy from you or impulsively take an action like book a call, the more revenue you're going to generate. Now, here's the framework that I like to use. I call it the wait formula because that's literally what's killing your revenue is making people wait. The W stands for walk through your customer journey. So you want to map out how your customers are buying right now. For example, let's say they see Instagram content, they go into your DMs, a human setter comes in and actually has a conversation with them, or they just get a link to go and buy. The A stands for auditing the delays. So in that customer journey, you want to go through every single step and write down where people are waiting for more than 5 minutes for a response. The I in wait stands for identify revenue impact. So rank each of those delay points from highest to lowest revenue opportunity. What is costing you the most money every single week? And T is for test for repetition. Starting with your biggest revenue leak, ask yourself, does this follow the same steps every single time, like a recipe? If yes, then automate that first. Or if it requires complex problem solving and judgment, skip it for now and move on to the next one on your list that actually is more like a recipe, unless you have a team member who can build and extensively test AI agents for you. But if not, then it is better for you to start with the things that are repetitive, consistent processes versus something that's going to require a lot of testing and documenting decision frameworks and good examples and all of that. If that sounds confusing, then don't worry about doing that. Now, the beauty of the wait formula is it forces you to stop building just random AI tools, whatever you're seeing when you scroll on social, and start fixing what's actually bleeding money, which is going to create the best results for you and allow you to see the power, the ROI of implementing AI. Rule number 3 is what I call the $10 million filter. These are 3 questions that instantly tell you whether an AI opportunity is real or just another distraction. Now, this rule is about only working with businesses that meet this criteria. Question 1, is money already flowing? If there is no revenue in a specific area that you or a customer is looking to build an AI solution in, AI is not going to create that revenue just on demand with magic. You are looking for places where transactions are already happening, just not as efficiently as they could be. Question 2 is, does a human slow this down? Not every problem needs AI, but if there's a bottleneck where humans create delay, inconsistency, drop off, that's where AI can help the most. And question 3 is, does speed increase the outcome? Speed only matters in this case if it moves the needle. For example, responding faster to your leads, going from 20 minutes to 5 minutes, let's say, in responding to a new lead might double your sales. You want to use AI where speed compounds into revenue. So if the answer is yes to all three of those questions, then that business has an AI use case that is worth building. But if not, then it's probably a distraction from the biggest opportunity. The reality is that AI tools are becoming commodities, and everybody already has the ability right now to spin up production-ready working software in hours instead of months. So the businesses that grow the most in 2026 are not going to be people who know the most tools. They're going to be the ones who find the right opportunities to use AI. And this framework is how you can figure that out. So you can take these three questions and audit your business or your client's businesses right now, write down those processes, run them through that filter, and ultimately decide what is going to be your priority use case to accelerate the business the most, leveraging AI the right way. Rule number 4 is the difference between charging $2,000 per client versus $20,000 per client. Now, whether you want to have an AI-based service or product as your core business, or you want to add revenue streams to your business with AI offerings, your positioning is everything. Now, I know this isn't new, but it's a super important reminder and lesson that I've learned many times over the last 8 years of selling AI and tech solutions to businesses ranging from $100,000 to $5 billion in annual revenue. AI is a tool. Your clients don't care about the tool. They care about the result that they're going to get from this. For example, faster revenue without hiring more people. That's what they are actually paying for. So the moment that I stopped pitching chatbots and I started pitching, we're going to capture the 95% of your leads that you're currently losing from the content that you're putting out, everything changed, right? We got 3x the close rate, same service, just different framing on it. And so I encourage you to do the same thing. Every time you are getting ready to pitch an AI solution to a new or existing customer, make sure you're not leading with the technology. You are leading with the revenue impact of what that thing can actually do. It's not, I'm going to build you an AI agent. It's actually the outcome that they can expect and in what time frame, right? And that all comes down to having a strong offer and really understanding the person that you're selling to. But by doing that, you will have a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 offer instead of a $500 one. Now that you understand the mindset shifts that actually help you create 6 to 8 figure AI revenue opportunities, you might be asking yourself, well, what tools do I actually use to make money with AI and which ones are just noise? If you want to find out, watch this video where I break down the 5 AI tools that the top 1% are using to work less, move faster, and turn these principles into real consistent revenue. I hope you got a ton out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.